Some people may want to combine intermittent fasting with another diet. For example, you may want to only consume foods from the Mediterranean diet or the paleo diet and eat the foods just inside of like an 8-hour feeding window. This may reduce the chances of over-consuming calories even further. Hey, I'm Nathan with Life Shift Fitness. I am a certified personal trainer, and I'm here to talk about this week's topic, the best diet for fat loss. We're going to be going over the 9 most popular and effective diets. You want to hit the subscribe button because next week's video is Ozempic, semaglutide, the new miracle fat loss drug. I would be so grateful if you hit the like button. I'm a new creator. Every like, every subscription helps. In the video description is my social link where you can follow me for daily tips and nutrition tricks. You can also find my email address, which is the best way to get in contact with me directly. So I am a certified personal trainer, and in my years in this industry, I've came across some frequently asked questions. So the question we're going to answer today is, what's the best fat loss diet? The 9 most popular and effective diets. So, first diet is calorie restriction diet. The second one is intermittent fasting. We got the South Beach diet, Weight Watchers, the Mediterranean diet, the Zone diet, the Paleo diet, the Keto diet, and the Atkins diet. So we'll be going over those in detail, starting right now. So just as a side note, I left out diets like Nutrisystem or Noom that require a monthly subscription. And while Nutrisystem is fairly expensive, I do think people have a high success rate with this diet purely because most of your food is supplied by the Nutrisystem company, which makes it practically impossible to overeat. So the first diet we're going to talk about today is the calorie restriction diet, which is a balanced diet with reduced calories, reducing average daily caloric intake below what is typical without malnutrition or deprivation of essential nutrients. It is advised to reduce your average daily caloric intake by 10 to 25%. This is the diet I have always believed in because it ensures a balanced diet since it does not exclude any food groups. You just eat a little less of everything. So unlike other diets, restricting your calorie consumption for the duration of the diet may cause hunger levels to be high, like real high. Now, calorie counting is required on this diet, which can be done easily with the food tracker like MyFitnessPal. The intermittent fasting diet is a time-restricted eating type of diet where you do not eat at all or severely limit intake during certain times of the day, week, or month. Time-restricted feeding, which is where meals are consumed within a limited number of hours, such as 6 to 8 hours of the day, each day, with nothing consumed during other hours. Another type is alternate day fasting. Eating is unrestricted every other day, and no or minimal calories can be consumed on the days in between. 5-2 eating pattern is another method where you eat unrestricted for 5 straight days of each week, followed by 2 days of restricted caloric intake. The next type is periodic fasting, where caloric intake is restricted for multiple consecutive days, such as 5 days in a row, once a month, and unrestricted on all other days of the month. Time-restricted eating makes it harder to consume too many calories since you have a limited window of time to consume the food. Some people report increased focus and alertness once your body is in a fasted state, while others feel too hungry to concentrate. When I did alternate day fasting, once I slipped into that fast after 6 hours or so, I felt great, focused. The next diet is a South Beach diet, made up of 3 phases. The first phase lasts up to 2 weeks. It's considered the strictest phase because it limits fruit, grains, and other higher carb foods in order to decrease blood sugar and insulin levels. This stabilizes hunger and reduces craving. During phase 1, you will consume 3 meals per day composed of lean protein, non-starchy vegetables, and small amounts of healthy fat and legumes. In phase 2, this phase begins on day 15 and should be maintained for as many weeks as necessary to achieve your goal weight. During phase 2, all foods from phase 1 are allowed, plus limited portions of fruit and good carbs such as whole grains and certain types of alcohol. Phase 3, once you achieve your target weight, you can advance to phase 3. In this stage, although phase 2 guidelines should be the basis for your lifestyle, occasional treats are allowed and no foods are truly off limits. Weight Watchers, which is now called WW, politically correct, works on a point system. The first step in signing up for Weight Watchers is to take the personal assessment, which asks questions about your current health habits and goals. Once the assessment is complete, you are prompted to sign up for one of 2 membership options. The first level starts off at $15 a month and includes an online support group. The second level is around $33 a month and includes in-person support groups. Weight Watchers points are a stand-in for calorie counting, designed to simplify eating healthily at a calorie deficit. It's not effective if self-control is big for you, since Weight Watchers allows calorie-containing foods that count on their system as 0 points. There is also no encouragement to eat balanced, nutrient-rich foods, since you only choose foods based on points. Weight Watchers may be the diet for you if you thrive in group accountability. Mediterranean diet, fish, salad, and wine diet, almost exclusively. With an emphasis on heart-healthy fats, this diet is rich in seafood, nuts and legumes, fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and olive oil, as well as red wine in moderation. Does nothing to mitigate the consumption of such calorie-rich foods, but does get something right. It discourages the consumption of red meat, sugar-sweetened beverages, added sugars, processed meat, refined grains, refined oils, and other highly processed foods. But there is no calorie counting. It is more difficult to overeat with limited food choices, but keeping an eye on your portion sizes may be a good idea. The Mediterranean diet may be the diet for you if you like salads, fish, and red wine. The Zone Diet, 30-30-40. The Zone Diet instructs its followers to stick to eating a specific ratio of 40% carbs, 30% protein, and 30% fat. These are 2 methods of following this diet. 1, the hand-eye method. Use your hand to determine your portion sizes and your eyes to estimate portions on your plate. Method 2, the Zone Food Block method. Personalize a zone diet for your body by calculating how many grams of protein, carbs, and fat you can have per day. Foods eaten on this diet are similar to the Mediterranean. The Zone Diet may be for you if you like the idea of paying close attention to portion sizes and enjoy fish, nuts, salads, and other vegetables. The Paleo Diet, or whole unprocessed foods diet, designed to resemble what human hunter-gatherer ancestors ate thousands of years ago. It includes meat, fish, eggs, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices, healthy fats, and oils. Foods to limit include grains, most dairy products, and legumes. So no pasta, no bread, milk, cheese, or beans of any kind. Like the keto or Atkins diet, you can only eat so much meat, fish, vegetables, and fruit before getting tired of it, which may automatically put you in a calorie deficit. But there is no calorie counting. It is more difficult to overeat with limited food choices, but keeping an eye on your portion sizes is still a really good idea. Paleo may be the diet for you if you don't like pasta, milk, or cheese. or you like the idea of eating like a caveman. So the keto diet, which is a very low carb, high fat diet, it works with ketosis. Ketosis is a metabolic state in which your body uses fat for fuel instead of carbs. Limiting carb consumption to around 20 to 30 grams per day and filling up on fats such as meats, fish, eggs, nuts, and healthy oils. By excluding a whole food group, you automatically eat less total food per day. Alright, so I made a note here for me to explain that, one of the things that people love about keto is they say, I can eat all the bacon and ribeye I want, all the steak and butter I want, which sounds really good for like 2 weeks, but then you realize after like 2 or 3 weeks of eating butter and steak, like it just doesn't hold the same zeal. You just don't want to eat steak and butter all day long. It sounds good now. After 3 weeks of it though, you start eating less and less. You'll still, get hungry throughout the day. You'll eat a little steak. You might put a little butter on it. You might eat a little bacon, but you're not, after 3 weeks of bacon and steak, you're not going to be eating massive amounts of it. So by excluding a whole food group, which is carbohydrates, you will eventually, after probably about 2 weeks, what I hear on average, start eating less of foods, even steak. Alright, so let's go back to the presentation. Like other kinds of restrictive diets, keto can also lead to deficiencies in essential vitamins and minerals. A potential downside is protein consumption must stay low as well to stay in ketosis. So this decreases exercise performance. With absolutely no carbs, this will persist and limit muscle growth, especially with limited protein intake. A potential upside of the keto diet is there's no need to count calories, but people do report the keto flu, which is likely to last a few days and up to 2 weeks because of loss of water weight. The symptoms include poor energy and mental function, increased hunger, sleep issues, nausea, digestive discomfort, so it's a good idea to supplement fiber. And the keto diet may be for you if you want to eat just about all the steak, butter, and avocados that you want. So the Atkins diet, all fat and protein, carbs extremely limited. So it's split into 4 different phases. Phase 1, the induction, under 20 grams of carbs per day for 2 weeks. Eat high fat, high protein with low carb vegetables like leafy greens. This kickstarts the weight loss. So the first phase is essentially the keto diet. Phase 2, balancing. Slowly add more nuts, low carb vegetables, and small amounts of fruit back into your diet. Phase 3, fine tuning. When you're very close to your goal weight, add more carbs to your diet until weight loss slows down. Phase 4, maintenance. Here you can eat as many healthy carbs as your body can tolerate without regaining the weight. So you expect similar symptoms of the keto flu during the first 2 weeks of the Atkins diet. All right, let's do a comparison. Keto versus the Atkins diet. There's no cap on protein consumption in the Atkins diet, while the keto limits protein to about 20% of your daily calories. This would be significant if you have muscle building goals. Also, keto centers on the body being in ketosis during the entire period of the diet, while ketosis plays a role only during phase 1 and possibly phase 2 of Atkins. Atkins may be more sustainable in the long run because it's not quite as restrictive and doesn't require you to make sure your body remains in ketosis. So which diet of all these diets do I think is best? I have always followed a calorie restriction diet. I find it works best for me and my goals. So if you want to lose fat and gain muscle, any diet that limits the consumption of protein, like keto, is going to prevent you from putting on as much muscle as possible. I have always put all my clients on a calorie restriction diet because it is balanced and it does not restrict the consumption of the highest quality protein sources like dairy, red meat, chicken, and eggs. Most of the diets I talked about today forbid the consumption of one or many of these foods. I like the calorie restriction diet because I can easily manipulate the macronutrients to be optimal for fat loss and muscle gain, meaning high protein, low fat diet. Because carbohydrates are basically energy that is stored as fat or burned for fuel, I just reduce carbs down to match somebody's energy expenditure, otherwise known as their activity level. If you want to know how I would adjust your macronutrients for you to lose fat and gain muscle, just email me with the address in the video description below. Now that you know which diet I think is best, it is worth stating that there is no one size fits all. Depending on your goals and lifestyle, you may find more success with less effort with any of these diets. It just depends on you and what you like, how you live. Some people may want to combine intermittent fasting with another diet. For example, you may want to only consume foods from the Mediterranean diet or the paleo diet and eat the foods just inside of like an 8-hour feeding window. This may reduce the chances of over-consuming calories even further. If you don't like to count calories, a more restrictive diet like keto or Mediterranean may be for you. By marking whole food groups off limits and just paying attention to small portion sizes, this could automatically put you into a calorie deficit, which will result in weight loss. I don't want it to go without saying, no matter what diet you choose, the best progress will be made when it is accompanied by a structured exercise program. If you want more information on a structured exercise program, please watch my video, Lifting Weights to Lose Fat. If you would like help finding which diet works best for you and your lifestyle and goals, as well as advice on a complete exercise routine for the best fat loss, muscle building results, please check the video description for my email, where I'll be glad to set up a free strategy session to help you put all the pieces together. So like I was saying in the beginning, I am a certified personal trainer, so if you're confused on how to build a systematic and progressive program, or if you're not sure how to balance recovery and fatigue for maximum gains, if you're not sure how to find your maintenance calories or put yourself into a calculated calorie deficit, or if you just don't feel like doing any of that stuff or don't have the time to, you're in luck. Just send me an email from the description and we'll do a free strategy session where I'll tell you exactly how I set up your nutrition and exercise routine for you to have the best results possible. And then it's up to you to decide if you would like to work with me. All right, so that's all. Make sure you subscribe for next week's video on Ozempic, semaglutide, the new miracle fat loss drug. Until then, I'm Nathan, the fat loss coach with Life Shift Fitness. I'm a licensed professor and a certified personal trainer, and I'll see you in the next one.